Mai Kako, a Kamalaida curtain call from a distance, a program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown, and I'm coming to you from my home office, White Hawaiian. Coconuts don't fall far from the tree. Eric Gilliom's hilarious staged memoir opened at the newly refurbished Mulligan's on the Blue, and it's a grand slam. Mr. Gilliom tells the fascinating history of his family, beginning with his great grandfather, Lewis Buckleman Wood, who shipwrecked on Oahu in 1902, to the hilarious and I mean gut splitting, almost wet your pants finale tribute to his Grammy and multiple award winning sister, the great Amy Hana'ili'i, in quick change virtuoso scenes that fly by, accompanied by marvelous film clips created by Adi El Ad that flesh out, enhance, and provide chronology for the events unfolding on the stage. White Hawaiian was written and produced collaboratively by Mr. Gilliom and Maui Cecil B. DeMille, Brian Cohn. They have been friends and creative confederates since they were classmates at Baldwin High. In fact, the night I was there, Ms. Sue Ann Loudon, who is responsible for the development of Mr. Gilliom as a performer, and so many other Baldwin High School students fortunate enough to have been under her tutelage, was present. Mr. Cohn is responsible for Mr. Gilliom's Maui-made comedy film with the late Willie Kahai Ali'i, Get a Job. The night I saw the show was the 1-year anniversary of Mr. Kahai Ali'i's passing. At the conclusion of the show, Mr. Gilliom did a beautiful tribute to Mr. Kahai Ali'i. Also, Mr. Cohn produced the duo Barefoot Natives. His project before White Hawaiian was as writer, director, and producer of another Maui-made feature, the critically acclaimed Kuleana. I lost count of the changes Mr. Gilliom makes in bringing back to life and caricaturing members of his family, but he convincingly portrays the mostly female members of his family who, along with his father, the late Lloyd Gilliom, are the stars of the show. Mr. Gilliom teaches the audience some hula while he honors his grandmother, Jeannie Napua Wood, who was a major star in New York and Hollywood. Mr. Al-Ad found the video of her teaching hula to Groucho Marx and George Fenneman on the great early TV show You Bet Your Life. Mr. Gilliom is the middle child, the one who so often gets overlooked. The eldest is the leader and the youngest is the darling. The middle child is the also-ran. His relationship with his dad, the late Lloyd Gilliom, who I first saw in a Diamond Lil extravaganza at Baldwin High School when I first came to the island, is a typical middle child one, always trying to get the parents' attention. When he goes through the Hawaiian names for his brother, Tim, who is a world-renowned navigator of the Hokulea, and the one for his Grammy and multi-Nahuku Hano Hano award-winning sister, Amy, he tells us they didn't have one for him. In fact, in one scene, a relative can't remember his name. Perhaps because of these slights, Mr. Gilliom starts his stage career in second grade. He talks about the roles he got while a young man, while his sister was in the chorus or background. He was a true leading man. He tells us how he was the first person from Hawaii to be accepted into the prestigious Goodman School of Drama, but the show doesn't go into any of Mr. Gilliom's many successes. From his Frankenfurter in so many great Rocky horrors, to his work with Mick Fleetwood, to his solo and duo singing careers, to his film career, this show isn't about them. One of the many things I loved about this show is the self-deprecating humor. I won't tell what the show was, but when Mr. Gilliom got his big break on Broadway, it was in one of the most epic bombs in the history of the Great White Way. He sings a song from that show, Out for Blood, wearing a pig with ears that wiggle and light up eyes. It is a side-splitting moment that gives us a notion of just how bad this show was. The film clips are actual portions of the real reviews, and they are devastatingly funny, especially a staged one with Tim Wolfe as the critic who mispronounces Mr. Gilliom's last name. Devastated by this event, he returns to Maui, where his father puts him to work in the family sandblasting business while he goes off to open the Maui Arts and Cultural Center. Then, Mr. Gilliom gets the opportunity for a gig. His father tells him his sister has double booked. He will be replacing her at Fu King Chinese Dine-In or Takeout Restaurant, while Miss Hana'ili'i does Carnegie Hall. This is the most hilarious section of the show. Mr. Gilliom returns to the stage in a sequined evening gown as Amy, he lip syncs one of her most popular numbers, but technical difficulties from the boombox he is using cause him hilarious dilemmas. He proceeds to do quick changes on stage while doing excerpts from famous Broadway hits such as Oklahoma, Annie, Phantom, Grease, Cats, Man of La Mancha, Little Night Music, Hello Dolly, and Xanadu, while Kathy Collins, as the proprietor, provides humorous commentary. For this show, Mr. Gilliom and Mr. Cohn have assembled the A Team of Maui live production with music by Michael Ruff, who has worked with such stars as Lionel Richie and Bonnie Raitt, technical direction by Ed Auswax, the wonderful stage manager, Angel Emerson, lighting design by Maggie Lloyd, sound and lights from Bruce Sandler and Village Audio, and an array of fabulous frocks from our own Hollywood designer and atelier, Maui's answer to Edith Head, Jennifer Oberg, and cameos by the ubiquitous Kathy Collins, along with a very funny one by Tim Wolf. Mulligan's on the Blue has been transformed for this show from an Irish pub into an elegant supper club. The new stage setup, sound system, and lighting portend great things in the future for this venue that has seen so many musical events over the years. A tip of the cap to Michael O'Dwyer, who has allowed Mr. Gilliom and Mr. Cohn to create this new venue. Mr. Gilliom gives everything he's got every moment he is on the stage. There is an old saying about when a performer is totally committed to their material. They say, quote, he left it on the stage, unquote. Well, Mr. Gilliom not only leaves it on the stage, but everywhere else in the house. His singing, acting, and material are totally terrific, and this is a marvelous show you will probably want to see several times. Every time a visitor comes, White Hawaiian will take its place with the sunrise on Haleakalā and the road to Hana as a must-do event while on Maui. It's that good. Congratulations to all who are associated with it. Seating begins at 5, and Joel Katz will provide beautiful Hawaiian steel guitar while you enjoy an excellent meal. There are specialty drinks and some real treats. We had an extremely inventive, thoroughly satisfying Reuben quesadilla, and the harp-battered dipped fish and chips were marvelous. The fish was encased in a crispy coating that was perfectly crunchy. The mahi-mahi was juicy, sweet, and done to perfection. And I loved the steak fries. To finish off the meal, we had lilikoi sorbet and Mulligan's chocolate lava cake, which is a chocolate lover's dream. The show is scheduled for Wednesdays for now, but they hope to open it up on Tuesdays in the future, if the demand is there. And given what I saw, it certainly should be. You can get reservations by calling 808-874-1131. More information about the show and Mulligan's on the Blue can soon be found at www.mulligansontheblue.com. Get tickets if you can. The audience for this show is limited to about 40, and the word is already out about what a great night at the theater this is. Well, that's Curtain Call from a Distance for this week. Thanks for tuning in to Curtain Call. I'm Paul James Brown. Ahui ho.